Well, the end of 2023 is here, leading into 2024, and there was a Newsweek article that came out of the 2023's most woke companies and how it might surprise shoppers. Now, we talked a lot about woke companies in 2023 having potential backfires. Some of the highlights were, of course, Bud Light hiring Dylan Mulvaney, brand destroyer Dylan Mulvaney. We also had Ben and Jerry publicly demand that the United States government give back Mount Rushmore to the Indians because they stole that land, even though the land that Ben and Jerry's corporate headquarters on happens to be on stolen Indian land as well. We had Target and their tuck-friendly swimsuits. We've had innumerable small coffee shops that got woke and had collectives and tried to charge men more money than women, and they all closed. So it really in 2023 was a lot of winning. And the list of woke companies might surprise you. So we'll take a look at them. This list was actually compiled using an app that I've talked about before, Veeps. And, I'm actually, I think in 2024, it looks like I'm going to try to work with them to help get the word out a little bit more. Veeps is an app that kind of empowers you to get out there and see what the political leanings are of your particular company that you may be considering shopping. It's something that I use, and they actually gave me a promo code 4444. So all fours for 60 days free on their Veeps app. So if you haven't got it yet, download it during this video. You can get it at veepsapp.com, or I'll leave linked in the description. And when you get a text, they're going to want you to verify a text. They'll send you a number and that you verify it. Use 4444, all fours, to get 60 days free on it. It allows consumers, to know exactly how the app, you scan an item, you see where they land politically. It's actually extremely intuitive and cool. And it helps you pick a few things. The list of 2023's most woke companies that conservative shoppers might want to avoid if they wish to align their purchases with their values will probably surprise some. At the top of the list is Unilever, best known as the makers of Dove, which we saw have a lot of women pretend to shave, Vaseline, and other skin products, but also the owner of ice cream brand Ben & Jerry's, long known for embracing progressive causes. But not even making the top 10 list are some of the brands that dominated the news cycles in 2023 for their perceived wokeness, like Disney, Bud Light, and Target. Well, look, I think we all know about them. And I'm reading chat too, and so Veep is genius. It's like social credit score for businesses, turnabout is fair play. Yeah, exactly. I'll leave a link in the description, or I'll link it and then use that promo code all fours for 60 days for free. It works great because you just scan an item and you're like, oh, okay, they're in the zone, they're not in the zone, and you just move on. It's really easy to use. Boycotts are more effective than boycotts, in my opinion. Anyway, the list comes courtesy of Veeps, which launched an app this year which helps consumers make purchasing decisions based on whether or not their social and political values are aligned with those promoted by the brand's parent company. While conservatives have dubbed Veeps' product the anti-woke app, it's actually nonpartisan, in that liberals also use it to identify brands that lean too far to the right to warrant their support. That's one thing I like about it. You can actually, if you're looking for, and then if you're like, oh, I want a brand that cares about the environment. Okay, cool. You can do that. Or I want a brand that focuses on military aid, or that. You can do that. So I like that they do it both ways. That's why I call myself Coffee Brand Coffee. Like I want everybody. I want to serve everybody. The term woke was thrown a lot more in 2023. For example, Bud Light's hiring of Dylan Mulvaney. Target stores featuring Pride merchandise for kids, including tuck-friendly swimwear for hiding your junk. Newsweek asked Veeps to construct a top 10 of the most woke companies using its proprietary method that uses public documents, employee statements, news reports, advertising campaigns, and computations driven in part by artificial intelligence to determine brands' V-score. To determine the top 10 woke brands of 2023 in the shopping category, products typically available at Walmart, Veeb set its database to score brands across 7 value settings: conservative, liberal, social justice, LGBTQIA, climate emergency, America First, and support veterans, explained Veeb CEO Chris Rhodes. Just like Veeb's users set up their own value packs to weed out undesirable brands they don't want to spend money on, Veeb's did likewise to identify the most progressive companies conservatives might deem overly woke. After crunching the numbers, here's the top 10 list. 1. Unilever. Not surprised there. We covered many of their brands, whether it was Dove or Ben & Jerry's, for various controversies. Elf Cosmetics. Can't really say I covered them. Mars, which is M&M candy and Pedigree dog food. Pernod Ricard, which is Seagram's gin and Jameson whiskey. Whiskey fans out there, JMO fans. Campbell Soup, PepsiCo. Of course, we knew Pepsi was like a big BLM supporter. The Hershey Company, we know for sure because they had the chocolate bar. Remember they had HER, SHE, or SHYs or whatever. And they used men to sponsor that. And then the Daily Wire started their own grift off of it. When they had their Jeremy's chocolate, which was like drop ship chocolate bars that had nuts and nutless or whatever. It's just basically a gag gift. Jenny's Splendid Ice Creams. I'm not familiar with them. This one's more concerning. Mattel, Fisher-Price Games, and DC licensed toys. That's concerning. And McCormick, not my Lawry's seasoned salt. No, not my Lawry's seasoned salt. There's no single headlighting grabbing event that landed any of the top 10 companies on the list. They're simply the companies that more consistently over the course of 2023 connected the dots for liberals. Thus, they might embrace them as anti-woke consumers might shun them, explained Rhodes. Newsweek reached out to all 10 companies to ask about their inclusion on the list, but not a single one bothered to reply. This is why I use the app. Code 4444, free for 60 days. Scan your Red Bull, scan your whatever, scan your Chex Mix. See what's going on. Rhodes said, he and his staff were not surprised by the results of their exercise to identify the most woke companies. We're up to our eyeballs in this data, but consumers probably will be surprised. All consumers have seen is Bud Light and Target all year, but what goes viral in any given moment isn't actually an accurate reflection of what a company does on an ongoing basis. What's in the news can be different than what shows up in our deep data sets. Woke is defined as being socially alert to social inequities and is closely aligned with, quote, cancel culture, diversity, equity, and inclusion, environmental, social, and governance. I like companies that, care about the environment. I just don't want, weirdo companies. For now, Veebs is focused on products purchased in stores, which might explain why Disney isn't in the top 10, even after so many high-profile woke battles with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Veebs, though, is launching a travel and leisure category in 2024 that might reveal more accurately where Disney stands. Rose said Bud Light parent company Anheuser-Busch didn't make the list because it's a historically conservative brand that's in midst of a real-time transition towards the center and left center. He added that Molson Coors and Bud Light competitor has a high liberal score and is far more foundationally progressive, though consumers haven't yet noticed. Well, I know that about Miller Lite and more Coors and all that stuff. The thing was, when you do these, when you use these apps or whatever, it can be overwhelming. You're like, oh my God, I can't scan everything. Well, what I start doing is I just start pick one or two things a week. I mean, I have Paleo Valley meat stick. Okay, there's a lot of different people that make meat sticks. Let me just find what's a good one that I like, and I change it. And then by the end of the year, I've changed 20 purchases. That actually has way more impact than these, one-off boycotts. Supporting the companies that support your values is actually far more effective. Rhodes said Veebs, which launched in July, has 100,000 users. Nice. Tens of thousands of whom pay 99 cents a month. Okay, so that's how much it costs. for the premium experience. While there are millions of all political stripes, he said America First types and U.S. vets are so far embracing in larger numbers. He compares Veeps to Consumer Reports, but instead of taking cars out on the track and telling you how they run, we take companies and go down information rabbit holes and tell you what they stand for. All shout out to Veeps. Give it a try. Promo code 4444 and you'll get 60 days free. In 60 days, you'll basically know exactly if it's something you want. I'll link it in the chat as well, veebsapp.com, or you can probably find it in your phone app list, stuff like that. So yeah, check them out. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it, and we'll talk to you again real soon.